Welcome back to Chow Time Pods. Your host, Rhett. I got a video today for the Financial Coffee Channel.
No more Section 8 EBT for people that don't want to go to work. Y'all time is up. Now, how many of y'all have family members, friends, people you know that's been living off Section 8 for 20 years?
20 years? Like low rent, almost free rent for 20 years? I mean, I can see why people don't want to work if you've been living like that.
I don't know if y'all heard or not, but Trump is getting rid of that Section 8 and EBT for these people that don't want to get out here and go to work. Your time is up, baby. So all y'all that's living it up right now, that's able-bodied to go to work, and you're choosing not to go to work, you better get ready. Because, baby, y'all finna get them notices. And them notices gonna come soon.
This is devastating for a lot of people. For people that have regular Section 8, 2 years. 2 years.
Does that not sound like an unreasonable amount of time to be able to get yourself back in order or something? 2 years is significant.
They ain't coming out with a Section 9, okay? That is it.
I personally don't agree with a lot of things Trump is saying, but this one specific thing makes sense to me. To all the people that's on Section 8, he is giving y'all 2 years to get on your feet. Trump's
reasonable. 2 years, I feel, is quite reasonable.
said stop being dependent and become independent. I agree.
People better start taking Trump seriously. Like, if show me better than you could tell me who was the person, it's him. He's now talking about getting rid of housing. That is literally going to force people that have not paid that amount in whatever their rent costs homeless. That is about to literally force people into the streets.
You know, as much as I feel bad for people being put in the streets, trust me, I do, because there's going to be families and kids. But it's not our responsibility. It is their responsibility to take care of their own kids. It's their responsibility to have careers, have jobs, to take care of themselves. It's not the government and the taxpayers' job to make sure everybody's fed, right? It's somewhat the government's job to make sure everything is able to be kind of there, but it's not their job to feed you.
And everybody keeps saying the same thing.
Or, house you.
Oh, he's not going to do this, or he can't get away with this, or our Constitution is so strong. Literally, he is getting away with a lot of stuff.
Supposedly, I don't know if this is true, I don't know if this is factual, but Section 8 will be cut come 2025 or later 2025. This is what I've seen on, I think it was on Facebook, and I didn't even go and fact check. But I want to address the comment that I seen, and it was like, this is good because people be on Section 8 and they abuse it. And it's like, how is this good? Whether a group of people are abusing a resource.
No. Abuse is bad, must be stopped, held accountable. That is why we have laws and police is to hold things accountable.
If you take the whole resource away, for the people that's not abusing it, we don't have it. And I think that's what, Trump is kind of bargaining at. He's getting at, stir crazy. People become fearful for their lives. It's survival of the fittest. So certain, government assistance that's now been taken away is not an act of service. It's not, now everybody's going to get up on their own 2 feet. No. People don't have it like that. It's not like everyone is not dealt the same card. So you're not going to be like putting everybody at the same starting line and then whatever. No.
Did y'all hear what Trump said? He said
most people started with the same starting line. Very few started ahead. Like maybe rich people, I would say, started ahead, but everybody else from every creed and color started about the same spot.
You only getting 2 years to be on this Section 8. Now, I don't think he wrong at all, because most of you guys are abusing me. You've been on Section 8 for 10 years, 11 years, 12 years, 20 years. Let somebody else who actually need it. Because most of y'all don't even, y'all abuse me. I'm talking about the ones, not everybody. I'm talking about the ones that's on it and don't work, don't want to work. And then the ones that's on it and then do work. You calling your boss and telling your boss to falsify that paperwork. Yeah, paperwork.
Why do people come on here and eat like, again, unless you're like a mukbanger or something, actually makes sense if you were doing it, but just like a normal person. Again, we lost that whole normal basic manners and decorum. You usually don't eat with you talk with your mouth full. At least you try to cover your mouth while you're eating. And, just some basic manners. Manners.
But Trump said the gig is up. That's why it's important.
And I'm not saying I have the best manners. I still put my elbows on the table. I know it's a bad thing. I try not to, but try.
To have a good old man, if you don't want to work, pay your bill.
True.
President Trump has put a 2-year limit on Section 8 for all of those Section 8 voucher holders. But I cannot say that I disagree with this 2-year limit on Section 8.
Again, 2 years is pretty significant.
Section 8 is supposed to be a stepping stone for families. But there are so many people that are on Section 8 that has been on Section 8 for a lifetime, to the point to where other families don't have a chance to get that help, that assistance, and get ahead themselves. I don't think that's fair for people to stay on Section 8 for 18, 19 years and not give other families that's in need the opportunity to receive those sort of benefits. So I do not disagree with President Trump on this time limit.
She reminds me of Dating Right, just how she speaks.
I'm not no hating ass bitch. I'm not knocking nobody's situation. But if you really think about it, Section 8 is only to assist you to get on your feet. Section 8 is a stepping stone to get you on your feet. Section 8 is not something you should depend on for the rest of your life. Government is...
Same with food stamps and a lot of other government assistance, but, everybody wants to use it for life.
Assistance is not something you should depend on for the rest of your life. Keyword, assistance, to assist you. Y'all done got too comfortable. Too comfortable. There's people...
Again, what happened to the shame? Again, my family, we were once on food stamps when we first came to this country. My dad was so ashamed. Ashamed. We were ashamed that we were using government assistance. We came to this wonderful country that brought us in, that let us in, that give us these opportunities, and then we're going to leech off the government? My dad felt like a piece of shit. Trust me. I tell you guys, my dad, we used to have those food stamp booklets. It wasn't a card yet because, cards weren't a thing yet. And every time to get those food stamp booklet, my dad would go 2-3 cities away from our city and our neighborhood area because he felt ashamed of getting these assistances. People have been here for 20 years, and then you see videos on TikTok of people flaunting these things instead of being ashamed that you couldn't provide for yourself and your family well enough that you needed assistance from the government. At least that's how my family has always seen it, but I digress.
People that's been on Section 8 for 10 plus years. That's a long time. Within that amount of time, you should have a lot of money saved up in your bank account.
I would assume.
In your savings account. Y'all too busy buying the newest shoes, buying the hottest cars, trying to keep up with the trend, buying designer purses, buying designer clothes, but you're in public housing. If you can buy designers, you can pay your house rent without assistance. Let that sink in. If you can buy designers, you can pay your house rent without assistance.
I'm sure there's some people in Section 8 with scat packs and stuff like that. How are you affording this? Oh, right, because you don't have to pay rent.
I get it. There's a lot of single mothers out here also that need those type of assistance. But if you're just comfortably living off Section 8 and don't care, that's crazy to me. That's the reason why nobody else can get in, because y'all be on Section 8 for years.
Now, how many of y'all have family members, friends, people that's been living off Section 8 for 20 years? They rent $3. They don't go to work. Not that they can't go to work.
You know what? I'm wrong. There's probably a few people I do know that I've helped assist because I do a little bit of Cambodian community stuff here and there. And then there's some people in the community, of course, that are very similar, that are writing the government for everything they've got. So it's not just, you know, certain demographics of people. It's just poor people. Poor people that are lazy, that are they're just abusing the system.
They don't want to go to work. Now, let me say this on the sidebar. They do have some people that need Section 8. Some people
Agreed.
that, you know, medically they can't go to work.
True.
Or, you know, they just can't physically. I get it. I'm not talking to y'all. I'm talking to these ones that your mama been on Section 8 all her life, and she ripping and running and doing this and doing that, and then you seen she was on Section 8, paid $3 rent, so now you as a young girl, because you done got pregnant and you got a baby, you go run out there and get on Section 8, and you ain't working, and you having child after child after child, and y'all all on Section 8 getting food stamps, $1,000 a month, and no, that's all about to stop. That's who I'm talking to.
I mean, $1,000 a month of food stamps, Section 8. Why do you need to work?
Okay? Trump said that's enough. So for us people that goes to work, that's working, he said you got to have at least 30 hours. Okay? 30 hours a week to qualify for the program. All right?
I think he probably maybe should lower it to like around 25, because I think that's what a lot of people have in hours when they're working part-time. To do 30 hours is full-time, unless you're doing multiple jobs, because even in California, very few people are hiring for full-time, so you'll probably have 2 part-time jobs.
Right? So most of us that work on a regular basis, 30 hours ain't nothing to us.
Nope.
This is what we do.
True.
So guess what? We gonna be the ones walking around in the grocery store with the big baskets, because we deserve it.
Yeah, we earned
All
it.
these years, they've been letting people with no job. They walking around with 2-3 baskets full of groceries, and us hard-working people, we got a little handheld basket with 2-3 items in there, because that's all we have left out of our check. And they sitting around getting fat food, eating lobsters and shrimp and crabs and all this other good food, and we can't even eat that. And we the ones going to work. So I'm glad Trump didn't flip the switch, baby. So I'm telling y'all right now, if you able to go to work, you better get out there and start filling out them applications if you want to have a place to live. It's time to get up and stop being lazy.
Mm-hmm.
Hey guys, so really quick, I'm sure that you heard that President Trump is going to limit the time spent in Section 8 housing. So it's going to be something like 2 years is your limit. After 2 years, you have to figure it out. And not only is that going to fall for Section 8, that is going to fall for all vouchers. Okay, they might reduce these vouchers. So that's why I tell everybody, do not get too comfortable in housing. While you got the voucher, figure out how you're going to plan your next move, because these vouchers are not going to stay forever. These are not going to be like back in the day where our mothers had it, our fathers had it, we had it, and it's just not going to be a generation of Section 8 anymore. It's only going to be for 24 months.
When she said we, she's talking about herself? Because, damn. Come on now.
24 months, guys. They're going to give you the help. You have 2 years to figure it out, which I think it's reasonable. I mean, are we all spoiled with having these vouchers for as long as we are eligible? The problem is everybody always stays eligible. Nobody gets out of that comfort zone. Nobody wants to pass that threshold. And then they just stay in housing for the rest of their lives. I mean, listen, my mother had Section 8. I know how it is. You can't make this much, because then your rent's going to go up. And then if you make too much, you're not going to have the program. I get it. But now it's only going to be for 2 years.
Looks like major changes may be coming to the subsidized housing program, because Donald Trump has asked Congress to allow him to slash more than 40%, $26 billion from the Section 8 program, and institute new rules that adults who do not have disabilities will no longer be permitted to be in the program more than 2 years.
It makes sense? Who thinks it doesn't make sense? Comment down below. I want to know why you don't think it makes sense.
And homeless experts are already concerned about this, increasing the rate of homelessness because the rent prices have gone so high and people's income are not rising as quickly as these rent prices are. I mean,
it doesn't mean that you should just ride the Section 8 for as long as you can just because of that. Like, again, you're using government assistance, you're using taxpayer dollars. The people that do work hard are paying for you to live the way you live. That doesn't make you feel bad in any way?
Many of us do believe that this system has been broken. There are needs for changes. Personally, working with seniors who are 80, 85-year-olds, waiting to get an apartment for 2-3 years, having to live in shelters because there are able-bodied adults holding these certificates is an issue. If you get into these programs and you are a young adult, it should not be a lifetime plan if you don't have a disability or you're not a senior. This should be a 3 to 5 year program at tops.
No one is just saying this, but this actually might help de-incentivize, baby mamas. Just women just having babies out of wedlock just to qualify for these things and qualify for the food stamps and not work. It might disincentivize that. I don't know, but I mean, if everybody's realizing, oh, I might not have Section 8, I might not have food stamps to take care of me, they might rethink about, who they let in.
Where you come in, you get in training, you get employment, and you start building yourself up to where you can start contributing more to your life until you are totally responsible for your life. Too many people are using these programs as a whole lifetime plan, right? And it's inconsiderate of the people like the seniors, like people with disabilities who truly need it. So, no disrespect to the people that use these programs, but they are not lifetime programs. They are to be used for the time you need them in their life, and then you get off of them until you need them again. Just like unemployment. You get unemployment when you're unemployed, not while you're working, all right?
I said the whole family story, not to try to shame people that are on it. My dad felt ashamed because we were on it. Doesn't mean like I'm trying to shame people that are on it. Because I think people should have their own internal morals and guidance on them, right? When you're kind of using other people's resources and they're kind of giving it to you to take care of yourself, you usually tend to be grateful. And you usually tend to not be burdens to others. At least how I was raised. And I hope most people realize this as they get older. The bigger burden you are, nobody likes you, right? Nobody wants to be with you. No one wants to hang out with you. They know you're a burden. They know you're going to be a drain on their wallets and their time.
The White House just proposed a new bill that will cut 43% from the Section 8 and other low-income federal housing programs. And if this passes, around 3.9 million Americans will be affected by this. This new proposal will also
3.9 million Americans that are on Section 8. That's crazy.
Have a 2-year cap on every able adult that's able to work. And in my opinion, this is actually needed.
Yeah.
This cut amounts to around $27 billion. Under this proposal, the remaining funds will be converted to block grants, and it will be given to states for them to manage those funds and give them to the families they need.
Okay.
If this passes, states with high cost of living and rents like Massachusetts, California, and New York will be the most affected and probably will have a lot of people that will not be able to afford paying rent.
I mean, again, it might be good for you to want to move to another state, move to another area because you can't live here anymore. Like, even people that are doing well, that can work and stuff like that, are moving out of California, moving out of New York to go to cheaper states. It makes sense that if you can barely afford anything and you're on government assistance, you might go to a cheaper state. It just makes sense, but, people want to live where they want to live and, not pay.
Section 8 will also provide funds to developers to build housing specifically for subsidized tenants. That means, whether it's an apartment community, single family, duplex, fourplex, like those are funds. They said, we're just going to send it back to the states, which essentially means we're going to leave you guys high and dry. And if you have a state that is fiscally responsible, great, good for you.
True.
I do not.
All right, I admit that.
I live in Mississippi. And our state is infamous for misallocating funds, stealing funds. You know, we let people literally run amok. Oh, and we just passed legislation this past legislative session to eliminate the income tax. We are already subsidized at one of the highest rates by the federal government. They are eliminating FEMA. Like, y'all got to look at the budget proposals, because some people are saying, oh, this will be good because if we get all those, Section 8 tenants out, then the housing market, the prices will change. Y'all.
Yeah, the housing market isn't really affected by Section 8. The housing market is affected by BlackRock buying all the properties. That's why we're affected.
There's so much nuance in this. What is going to happen is those people are going to have to leave. And where will they go? There are no programs. Federal funding has been cut from almost every federal program or grant or subsidy that was provided to assist people with things like this. Where are they going to go? What do they do? Now
they work hard and try to fix their life, turn it around, and go to a cheaper area. That's my suggestion, but is it going to always work? No, I know it's going to be hard. I'm not saying, just pull yourself by the bootstraps. I'm not saying that, but you've been on assistance this whole time. What were you doing? Were you not building skills? Were you not doing anything? No, you probably weren't. This is why you're in this boat.
They won't have housing. They will not have health care because Medicaid, surprise, is getting gutted. And I know every Republican said, absolutely, we're not touching Medicaid. We're not touching Social Security. It was a lie. They lied. They absolutely are. Look at the budget.
President Trump's latest budget plan proposes a staggering $26 billion cut to the Department of Housing and Urban Development. This includes slashing the Section 8 program, which currently supports over 2 million low-income households. Eliminated Section 8 doesn't just affect housing, it's going to set off a chain reaction. You're going to have rising homelessness, overburdened emergency service, and a strained economy. HUD faces $43.6 budget cut. Is going to be the largest in its history. It isn't just trimming the fat, it's cutting into the bone of essential services. As affordable housing disappears, the gap between the wealthy...
So you guys hear that? Section 8 is essential services, I guess. It's not a privilege, it's essential.
...and the poor widens. The plan shifts responsibility to many states, many already underfunded, and imposes a 2-year cap on rental assistance for able-bodied adults. What happened after those 2 years?
You get a job and you take care of yourself. Or you'll work for 2 years, save some money, and then you're able to take care of yourself. That's the goal.
Follow the money, evict the poor, inflate the market, and sell the American dream to the highest bidder.
So, y'all know President Trump is taking away housing.
He's not taking away housing. He's taking away housing from lazy people that don't work, that are able-bodied.
He's taking Section 8 and housing. He's giving them 2 years. You got 2 years to get off. Starting 2026, you have to 2028, where he cutting you off. Cutting you off. So technically, you have 2 years and 9 months because it is March.
What are you making that face for? That's a long time to save money if you're not really paying rent.
All that extra money, y'all, listen.
Oh, she on our side, my bad.
Section 8 was made to be a stepping stone for you to get your life together so that, you can move on in the world.
Yep.
Not to live on forever. Mm-hmm. Like, people been on Section 8 for 30 years, 40 years, 50 years. And now they about to lose their housing because they didn't pick up no skills. They didn't save no money.
All right, my bad, lady. I misjudged you in the beginning. Now I'm going to have to really apologize because you literally used my own talking points on me. So shout out to you.
And it's hard. Even if you did save some money, are you going to have enough money to buy a house? And is your money going to last long enough for you to pay rent?
Trust me, I feel bad. Of course I feel bad for the families that are going to be affected. Of course I feel bad for the thing. But I also don't feel bad because my family worked hard. The families around me worked hard to be not on government assistance, to barely survive. And yes, a lot of People around me that I know are barely surviving, but they're still doing it. Why should they not get assistance and you get assistance for not working and wanting to do anything? Please like, subscribe, comment down below. I really appreciate that, and I'll catch you guys next time.